Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Pipe Wrench. How are your drains working? Is your AC unit ready for another scorching hot summer here in East Tennessee? Hot water heater, is it in good working order? If not, call Pipe Wrench today. With dozens of trucks all over East Tennessee every single day. If they don't get to you in 24 hours, your visit is free. PipeWrench.com to learn more. All right. Wanted to break out my wifey board. Hang on a second. Let me do this. That's good television right there. All right. I guess I ought to get a pen. You see, we sit around here and talk in between these segments, and sometimes I just, I knew it was, I told you guys last night it's going to be one of these shows. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to rank football, men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball, and softball. Those are the five biggies. Only two of them are revenue sports, but those are your five biggest.
Right.
No offense to golf and tennis and track. People do care, but they don't show up in droves like they do for these five. All right. I want to rank them in terms of which sports over the next 5 years do you feel are the most stable? And I don't mean stable bad either. All these are in good shape.
Yeah.
Which ones do you think have legs in terms of they're going to keep being good? But you got to factor in who's going to be coaching them, too. You got to factor in all kinds of different things. So I'm going to ask you, what is the number one? Do we all agree? Let's just get to do we all agree baseball? You have a young coach who is, you're paying him well. You've increased the stadium for him. I don't think Vitello is leaving. I would go baseball as my most stable moving forward. Do we have any debate on that?
I'll throw out one, softball, because it was stable before baseball. As long as Karen Weekly remains as the coach, and we were talking about that, we don't know, what her timeline is.
Yeah,
But that program has been incredibly stable for a long time. I don't see that changing. You're right, baseball has hit a tremendous
National
peak
title.
and looks incredibly stable. But I mean, without the national title, I think softball has been stable the longest. And as long as you've got Karen Weekly there, I think it's going to stay stable.
I think he's on to something. I mean, the SEC in baseball, I will say, there historically have been some. I mean, there are some peaks and valleys for any program. LSU's had trouble. South Carolina was a power and then became nothing. Vanderbilt's hit some choppy waters. Who's to say Tennessee stays up there at this level for 5 years? So softball might be the easy number
Well,
one.
I think
All you people that say I hate baseball, just remember, I said baseball and they're saying softball.
I think you've seen more struggles recently, especially in terms of winning series. And I would still have baseball there, but it's not like it's still that glory year.
You're
time.
right. These,
I mean,
what are they? Are they even top 10 right now?
Well, I mean, they've had
This is great.
They've had some
Josh,
struggles
softball?
in the SEC.
If you guaranteed me Karen Weekly for 5 years, I wouldn't hesitate. They would be my number one.
She is, I don't want to, if it's a man, you speculate at the age. If it's a woman, then I'll get an email.
Yeah.
And I know who I'll get it from, too. Disrespectful to women. The gist is, and it wouldn't be Karen Weekly, by the way, she graduated college in '87, so she would, judging by that, you would think she's around 60. So if she decided she was going to go till 70, she's got 10 more years.
Yeah.
So that's well within the 5 years. So softball, number one, most stable.
Most
And
stable.
best.
That's what I would go with.
I think so.
Stable and best. Okay.
Just
I went in thinking baseball, but you sold me.
No, baseball is going to be fifth because we're going to fire Vitello because they're not winning anymore. All right,
Then do
what's
you go
number two?
baseball?
Baseball's two for me.
baseball next.
But they're not winning the series.
I'm telling you, it's not like they're dominating like
Right.
the 60-win season
Yeah,
last year.
exactly.
It's taking a step back,
That
guys.
program's in trouble.
Listen, I didn't say in trouble. I didn't say in trouble. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna go baseball.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think that is.
And
All right, we got soft and base. What's next?
here, Bob had mentioned this before, and I kind of disagree. I think you got to consider women's basketball and what Kim Caldwell's done, and just being here a year and the talent she's bringing in.
there's
I
less of a
think they're going to be up there in terms of stable for the next 5 years. The fact she's only been here one
That
season,
works against it.
but-
I
It's 1
think it
year.
works
Right.
for her moving
Well,
forward.
that's,
you have
that's
1 year
what-
of
That's
proof?
the reason
Yes.
I wouldn't have them if it is such a short sample size. If she had done this for 3 years and shown steady improvement, I would say that. But I just think right now, after one season, we don't know.
We do.
Well, let's
we do know.
Okay.
Well, how
Yeah, I would go men's basketball next.
I was saying, how do we rate stability? Is
Yeah.
that determined-
You're going to have a coach. Is Rick Barnes going to
Yeah.
coach for the next 5 years?
So-
You would
so
think
I don't
not.
think so.
You
Yeah,
would
probably
think
not. The reason I would go men's basketball next is because there's a good reason to think he could be there for 2 or 3 years. And if we think that he's going to leave before the 5-year window ends, you then have a program that is very attractive. And you do have to
Yeah.
go hire a coach,
Yeah, you
but
got-
that coach is going to inherit a program that's very attractive.
That's where
So
I was
would go
going.
men's basketball.
I
But
think a
we've
new hire would be a good hire, but is that considered
I
stability?
mean, how many guys have gone to Arizona and it looked like a hit, and in Arizona
Yeah.
that doesn't work? Or how many
Right.
people have gone to
Texas.
Indiana? How many guys has Indiana tried to hire?
And
Or Texas? Yes, you got
Texas.
rid of Rick Barnes. You've gone through
Exactly.
coach after coach.
Exactly.
But if last segment Danny White won and the best athletic director ever
He's going to
He'll
find
have
somebody.
recognition,
Right.
then you give him the
Right.
benefit of the doubt that he'll make
All
a
right,
good
men's
hire.
basketball or women's basketball? That's a tough one
I
because
would-
one's
I'm
got
gonna
the
go-
proof.
I'm going to go football.
As the third most stable? Okay, that's good.
And here's my reasoning. Josh Heupel doesn't seem to be going anywhere. We can talk about his player evaluation, player development, all these things, trouble in the portal, et cetera, et cetera. But he's been consistent since he's been here. I don't see him leaving anytime soon. So to me, I would put football in that spot because of the questions about Rick Barnes' age and because Kim Caldwell's only been here a year.
My least stable, football.
Ooh.
Not for anything Josh Heupel's done. Those people at home,
Yeah.
they care about football more than they care about any of these other sports. What moves the needle? What gets people maddest around
Oh,
here?
you're right.
A loss in basketball
right.
or a loss in football?
Football.
A loss in softball or a loss in football? I think you can lose a fan base very quickly around here. I also think there are people who are already talking about, he's sitting right back there. We got a former director of this show who last week were sitting in the booth before the show. He said, Heupel's been a disappointment, hasn't he? And there are a lot of people who feel that way.
From what
He's
he
not a
took
championship. He's not a championship
And
coach. He hasn't won a championship. You're going to hear it this year. If it's the 8-4 kind of year that
Yeah.
I think it's going to be, you're going to hear a lot of people saying, "Well, we don't have the right guy."
And they've won 30 games
And-
over the past 3 years.
That's
and it's
right.
their best 3-year run
and,
since
he,
the
and he
90s.
inherited absolute crap. The guy, it's not
Yes.
on him. I would keep him. I would look for reasons to build with somebody who's shown me promise. That's not how football works. It's certainly not how Tennessee works. They look for reasons to fire you. I mean, it was
and-
always, let's see how he does against Florida, Alabama, Georgia.
Georgia.
I don't hear Alabama and Florida get
I
mentioned
would,
anymore. Now it's just Georgia.
literally love to argue that point,
Go.
but I can't.
Yeah, it's a football thing. It's not a Josh Heupel.
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Ohio State was a few months ago having a real conversation about should Ryan Day be fired
Yeah.
a few weeks before he went on to
Right.
win the national championship.
Jim Harbaugh had to take a pay cut
Yeah.
in order to stick around and win a national championship.
Now, how can you have stability in this current environment of the portal and NI,
that-
which it
for
can
any of them, that's a
change?
good
It can change.
Okay, you all have taught me back.
I think it's men's basketball because
third.
Yes.
and I'm with Josh.
But you're rolling the dice on the new
I'm
guy.
rolling the dice, but I think you would get a good hire there. And Danny White, get to the previous segment,
I
gives
mean,
me the
football's
confidence.
in a lot of trouble.
Softball, number one. Shocking. Baseball, number two. Then we got men's basketball, 3. Women's basketball, 4. And then football, 5.
I'm down on the football program now.
6.
Yeah, I mean,
Rowing is ahead of football. All right.